giving you real. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Come into the J Spot, replacing your G Spot every Thursday from 6 to 7, giving you real relationship talk, real relationship drama with the best night of your life. Your host, Jay, and simply E, hold on, get ready to enter the J Spot on IntellectualRadio.com.
Good evening, good evening, good evening, and welcome to the best night of your life. Woo! You have entered the J Spot where we are strengthening relationships and families one conversation at a time on intellectualradio.com. We are an iHeart station. I'm your host, Jay. You guys, she's out tonight, but I want to thank you so much, guys, for joining me. Please do me a favor, go to our page and like our the J Spot. Also follow us on Twitter at J Spot. Also follow us on Instagram at the J Spot Radio. And Jay is spelled Jaye for all three. Guys, listen, it is that time of year. The children have went back off to school. Oh my God. I don't know if you guys are like me, a little bit nervous with all this stuff that's still going on with the COVID and everything. But you know what? You guys, we just have to continue to have faith because everything is going to work out. I truly, in my heart of hearts, believe that everything is going to work out. So definitely, just keep your children covered, keep your families covered, and take the necessary precautions that you have to take to keep your family safe. And I want to say this. It doesn't matter what people are trying to pressure you to do. You stick to your guns and what it is that you believe in. So whatever it is that you believe in regarding this pandemic and how to proceed forward for you and your families, stick to your guns. Don't let anybody say or do anything that will cause you to think that their way is right and your way is wrong. You have to do what you feel is best for you and your family. With that being said, last week we were out, you guys. I had to take my son back to school. He went back to NIU. He is finishing up his second semester of his senior year. So he is coming out in December. So woo! Go Huskies. I am so excited, you guys. It was definitely, y'all know, listen, let me tell y'all something. Now, I know I talk a lot, but you all, let me tell y'all something. I'm a big wuss. Can I just really, really, really be honest with you all? I am a big wuss. I cried like a 2-year-old baby when I dropped my baby off. Now, people will say, he ain't even no baby. He not no baby. He grown. He still gonna always be my baby. Now, he don't act like a baby, and sometimes, listen, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. He rubbed my nerves the wrong way, and he causes me to struggle mentally. I will be honest about that. But at the end of the day, I cried like a little baby. I was just like, oh my God, my baby is gone. So what am I gonna do? You all, let me tell you, as soon as he was gone and I got back home, why I started hearing sounds. See, I'm telling you, when I'm home alone, let me tell you, I hear everything. Like I heard the ice being frozen in the refrigerator. I heard the water getting cold in the refrigerator. I heard the milk getting cold. I heard the eggs just nestling in. I can hear everything and it drives me crazy. So if one day that I'm just not here, you all know that my mind has definitely gotten the best of me. But I'm praying that the kids, that they have a great school year. Is definitely going to be a huge adjustment for some of them because, again, with them being off for over a year, out of school, I'm sure they've missed their classmates and things of that nature. So it's going to be a lot of adjusting. So please, have a little patience, you all. We got to have a little patience. There's going to be some adjustments. They going to probably get little notes sent home the first little week of school because, again, they've been homeschooling. So they've been able to sit up there and, watch and play, eat their little fruit snacks and, do all these other things that they are not necessarily going to be able to do in the traditional classroom. So just, have a little patience before you go, jacking them up, just, giving them a minute to get reacquainted with being back in school and take it, from there. And definitely listen. Make sure you're staying on top of their homework and, staying in contact with the teachers and just making sure that your kids are being safe. Whatever it is that you're telling them to do while they're at school, make sure that they are adhering to those things. So again, guys, I want to thank you so much for joining me. I am rocking solo tonight, but we do have a special treat tonight. So definitely you guys want to stay tuned. Hey, Menus, how you doing? Hey, LaJuan, guys. Thank you so much again for tuning in. Listen, we have so many hot topics to cover because, again, we was off last week. So I have a lot to talk to you all about, and we have a lot to cover. So let's go ahead and jump into this first hot topic. Now, listen, you all, I'm going to ask you all this right now. Please keep me lifted, okay? Please, 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 please keep me lifted because you all know sometimes I struggle from time to time. So here, I'm going to be honest with you all. But let me ask you all this, fellas. Are you embarrassed? Or is it not even, you're not even embarrassed, you just flat out are not going to do it? Do you have a problem with picking up your wife or your girlfriend's sanitary items from the store? Do you have a problem with going to the store? You're already at the store, just moseying down the line, picking up your little socks and all this other stuff, picking up your little underoos and everything. And she called you and she like, babe, oh goodness, I need you to pick up me some pads and I need you to get this and I need you to get that. Fellas, will you get those items for her? Or is that too embarrassing? Are you too much of a man to get your woman her feminine items, her feminine products? And if you won't get them and if you're too embarrassed to get them, why are you embarrassed? What causes you to be embarrassed about getting? I mean, because to me, that will let everybody know, okay, you got a woman and you taking care of her. So I don't understand what the embarrassment is. But would you be embarrassed or would you be like, no, I'm not embarrassed, but I'm not getting them either? What do you guys think? Are you embarrassed? LaJuan, you're saying no problem at all. I'm a grown man. All right now, LaJuan, listen, I need 2 supersized number 2s and give me some little light days. I need 4 boxes of those. I need 4 boxes of those. I need the pearly tampons, so going through that aisle and, get familiar with all those products. But fellas, are you, as a general rule of thumb, do you be like, listen, you know what? I'll buy her underwear. I'll buy her bras. I'll buy her clothes. I'll buy her socks, but do not. And I repeat, do not ask me to buy no dang on sanitary napkins, no sanitary items, because I'm not doing it. I'm not going down in that aisle. I'm not doing it. Now, what if she say, well, it ain't got nothing here? Where he's like, well, listen, you better use some paper towels or you better use some newspaper or some toilet paper or something. And your behind is right there in the store. Y'all will really make her do that? Because so far it's only one man that said he don't have no problem with doing it. So I guess she's just gonna have to be Bloody Mary up in there messing around with the rest of you all. But here's the deal. Like, I personally don't think it was a big deal. And I'm trying to think of, is it an item that's specifically for men that if my guy said, Jay, I need you to pick this up for me, would I have a problem with picking it up? I can't think of anything. I mean, because I've bought underwear, I've bought socks, shaving cream, so I don't see any male item that I would have a problem with picking up. So I'm not sure why some men have a problem with picking that up. But if you have a problem with picking up, the sanitary item, listen, come on, listen, have a heart, listen, because listen, I'm gonna tell you, she can't make it. Okay, if she don't have the necessary products, she not gonna be able to make it. So not only do she got a bad attitude because she cramping, now she probably gonna choke you because you didn't get her stuff, and now she just really uncomfortable, and she uncomfortable because of the cramps, and then she got to go out to the store with some toilet paper stuck up her behind to go get the stuff because you wouldn't get it because you was too embarrassed thinking somebody was gonna look at you. But you don't care about all this stuff that you be saying on social media, but you care about buying a little raggedy funky pair of pads. Listen, get over yourself and get her pads. Hey Gretchen, how you doing? Ramon saying, good evening. How you doing, Ramon? So again, listen, pick them pads up. If she call you or text you and tell you she need them pads, pick them pads up. Now, speaking of sanitary items and being clean and smelling good. Now, listen, you all. For those of you all that are a Matthew McConaughey fan, listen now, it's come out. Now, I'm going to say alleged because, some of these tabloids could get it twisted. But they're saying allegedly, homeboy don't use deodorant. He said he ain't used deodorant in over 12 years. So could you be with someone that did not use deodorant? Or are you yourself a person that does not use deodorant? Because here's the thing. Now, I'm going to be honest with y'all. I used to work with a lady that did not use deodorant. So she didn't use nothing. She didn't use soap. She didn't use deodorant. Now, listen, I will tell you this. She wasn't the most pleasant person to be around because, sometimes sometimes that thing get a little tart and you have to put some soap. I'm not saying she had to do it all the time, but sometimes that thing get a little tart. You need some soap and you need some water. Sometimes them armpits, they get a little tart. They need some soap and they need some water. But I do understand, and there are different things out there that people can use in the place of deodorant. So there's like some type of natural sealant, and I've seen it and I've used it before, and it keeps you from perspiring and it keeps you from getting funky. So hopefully he's using that. I don't see him as just going out there, and them armpits, because I can't see people being okay with working with him, and nobody has talked about this issue prior to now. So I'm sure he's using something in place of deodorant. And what we got to understand is there are so many alternative methods and alternative products to what we see on the store shelves, because a lot of that stuff that we see, to be honest, has all these chemicals, all this crap that is not even good for our bodies. So if there is something that's natural that you can use in place of deodorant or that you can use in place of soap, then I would definitely say do that. However, to just think that soap and water is going to suffice, no, beloved, no, it's soap and water is just not going to suffice, especially on that thing. Listen, if you got an active thing, listen, no, soap and water is just not going to cut it. You got to be able to clean. Now, I'm not saying use all the products that have all of that perfume and those dyes and everything, because women, we know we can't use all of that crazy stuff. But what you can't and what you ain't gonna do is walk your end out the door and you ain't put no soap and water, not just water, but you haven't put no soap and water between me and thee. So you all, if not for yourself, but do it for your neighbor. Touch your neighbor and say, neighbor, use some soap and water. Because listen, we don't want to be smelling that. We don't want to be smelling none of that. None of you, if it's not a pleasant aroma, we don't want to smell it. So be kind to your neighbors, be kind to the environment, but at the same time, stick it to your beliefs. Now, here's the deal. If you're not using deodorant, listen, when you funky, when you funky, you got to put something else. That may not be the day that you can get away without using deodorant. You may be a person that does not need deodorant every day. However, when you going and doing this and you going to raising people, to hug people and things, listen, you smell like we smell ourselves before anybody else smell us. So if you smell like, you like, who was that? It was you, my love. It was you. Listen, go handle that. Go handle that. But you should not be smelling offensively just because you're taking a natural route. I don't have a problem with a person taking the natural route. What I'm saying is just make sure you are using the correct natural route that matches your pH balance, because everybody's pH balance is different. Where you may be a person that just, you've tried all the natural remedies and listen, it's just not working. When you go to raise your hand, it smells like you got a whole clove of garlic up under your arms. That's not gonna work. That's not gonna work, beloved. Nobody wants to be around that. Lawan, you're saying the soap and water combo works wonders on the whole body. Absolutely. And again, let's touch the toothpaste. Now, some people, I don't believe in brushing my teeth with all this, because all that fluoride in the toothpaste and all this and that. Listen, if you don't believe in the toothpaste with all the fluoride in it, I'm with you, because fluoride is not good for you. But listen, let's take it back to the old school when grandmama and them, they told you to put some of that baking powder, that baking soda on and brush your teeth and make sure you brush your tongue. Listen, that baking soda did wonders. And I still believe that it works the same way today. Again, those are just some of the natural things that we've gotten away from. But baking soda, listen, it cures a many of things, including bad breath. So listen, if you one that don't believe in all that, because I know we got a lot of people that believe in the holistic approach, not knocking it whatsoever. However, just choose the right combination that works for you. But you gotta keep that thing clean. It gotta be, I'm sorry, it gotta be clean here and everywhere else, especially your lower regions. And then even talking, don't nobody want to be, listen, you check your, do like this. If it make you kick back, maybe you need a little bit something more than baking soda. Now, if it make you faint when you smell it, then maybe you need to get your tongue scraped and your stomach, something going on in that area. But what I'm saying is, at this point, especially in the 30 plus age range, listen, you too old to be smelling, for people to be smelling you. I'm just gonna say it like that. You too old for somebody to be smelling your funky pants. So let's just, be kind to one another. But guys, listen, we're gonna take a short musical break. And when we return, we have more hot topics to get into. You don't want to miss it, so please stay tuned. You're listening to the J Spot, where we are strengthening relationships and families, one conversation at a time.
Loving you has always been easy, because it's true. I would not believe if someone would have told me you would come along to reveal my soul, cause I was so in love, my heart had grown cold, so cold. You had good energy, exactly what I needed. You walked in my life and placed the joy where was needed. I don't mirage what I feel for you, put that on God, girl, I'm loving you. Said it's easy, it's easy to love, easy to love. Said it's easy, it's easy to love, easy to love. Oh yeah, yeah. Loving you has always been easy, cause you're beautiful. Loving you has always been wonderful, more than you'll ever know. We got good chemistry, go together like love sex. The passion and care we show one another tops all the rest. The feelings I have for you, I ain't felt in so long. What we share together, baby, the bond is so strong. It's no facade of what I feel for you. Put that on God, I got love for you. Yeah, said it's easy, baby. Said it's easy. It's easy to love you. Easy to love you. Said it's easy. So easy to love you. Easy to love you. Loving you has always been easy 'cause you're beautiful. Loving you, yeah, yeah, is what I search my life to do. Yeah, yeah, oh yeah.
Welcome back to the J Spot, where we are strengthening relationships and families, one conversation at a time on IntellectualRadio.com. We are an iHeart station. I'm your host, Jay. And sitting next to me, guys, Ishi's out tonight. I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. Please do me a favor. Go to our page and like our page at the J Spot. Follow us on Twitter at J Spot. Also follow us on Instagram at the J Spot Radio. And Jay is spelled Jaye for all three. Guys, listen, now I'm going to tell you, this next hot topic had me, if I was a cusser, I would have been cussing up a storm from this next hot topic. So, a young lady, she asked her boyfriend, can she borrow $25 to pay her light bill? And she told him that she would pay it back. She said that she had already gotten 200 and some odd dollars from her kid's father. So the boyfriend, he replies, listen, get it from your baby daddy. I'm not that kid's father. I'm not responsible for taking care of this household or this, helping you pay your bills or any of that nature. You have to get that from the guy that you laid up and had a baby with. You all, okay, let me tell you like this. Okay. First of all, 25, and then he said he'll see her later on that night and that he loved her. And she said, okay, baby. First of all, I have a problem with both of them, okay? Because first of all, as a man, okay, no, it's not your responsibility. You are right to take care of her and her household and things of that nature. First of all, Bama, she asked you to borrow it. So first of all, why are we even, if we're in a relationship, like, and I'm hanging from the chandelier and you hanging from the chandelier, I'm not borrowing anything from you. Like, if I need something, then you should be giving it to me based upon our relationship. Don't sit up here and redirect me. Oh, well, you need to get that from your baby daddy. Oh, okay. So you mean to tell me, so if I need to get the $25 from him, then I'm gonna get something else from him that I need. I mean, what are you here? I don't understand. $25. We got dudes spazzing out over $25, $40. I don't understand how some women are even dealing with this type of this. I don't even understand it, because I'm just like, okay, wait, $25? I drink more than that in coffee and crap just a week in coffee. And you mean to tell me $25 is causing you to have that type of response to the chick that you laying up with? You snoring up with her, you snoring in her face every day. You're using those lights, you're eating her food, you're using the gas, but yet you're going to direct her to get it from some other man. So I don't understand. What are you there for? What are you there? What is your purpose in her life if you can't even, she asked to borrow. So I'm going to stick with her word. If you can't even borrow her $25, you, sir, what, like, you're just a waste of space. Like, listen, don't shoot the messenger. I'm just saying that is a total waste of space. And ladies, if you are dealing with a dude that's like that, that's every time you need something, that's his reply, oh, ask your baby daddy for it, then I will. But I'm going to ask my baby daddy after I ask you to leave here, lose my number, and never come back. Listen, you got to stop being so hard up to be with these dudes. If these dudes cannot help out with a simple $25 to help you with your bills, what are they there for? That's the first side of that situation. Now, let me tackle the sister. Baby girl, if you need $25, in my opinion, you don't have time to be trying to chase behind somebody that ain't got nothing. You need to be trying to get you either another job or get you a side hustle so that you can make sure that your household is up to par, that you got the finances to be able to pay your own bills, to be able to take care of your own kids. Therefore, you ain't got to hear no stupid replies and remarks like, oh, go ask your baby daddy. Stop depending on people. Start stacking your own stuff and making sure your own stuff is in order, because I'm sure that had to be very embarrassing. Oh, go ask your baby daddy for what? Oh, I will ask him, but let me ask you to leave first and don't come back here. Go back to your mama house or wherever you came from, because to me, that just sounded like a broke dude's response. Now, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Again, is he obligated to do it? Absolutely not. But just, I would have been okay with if he would have said no. He still would have had to leave me alone and get out of my house. But I would have had a little bit more respect for him had he just simply said no. But to direct me to go, oh, go get your baby. Listen, dude, I'm gonna tell you this. I don't need you just like I don't need him. But then saying stuff like that, now women are wrong when they say stuff like that. But do she really need that dude? Do she really need him if he's directing her to go to hear her baby daddy for 25 little funky dollars? What do she need him for? I'm just saying, it's time. It's a new day. It's time to just stack your own coins and do what you have to do. Nichelle, you're saying women should stop shacking up. Exactly. Have your own money. Absolutely. Stop shacking up and make sure you're not living beyond your means. Make sure you balancing your checkbook. Make sure you got your stuff together, and make sure you don't have somebody that's leeching off you, because I've always been taught I can do bad all by myself. So if you don't have the $25 for the light bill, that's cool. Just turn the light off on your way out. But what you're not going to be doing is sitting up here in my house using my lights and my gas, playing your little raggedy PlayStation while I'm at work. But then you want to direct me to somebody else to get the money to pay the bills. Stop letting these dudes live up in your house for free. Like Nichelle said, stop shacking, first of all, because, again, he's not your husband. So he's made no promises. He's not obligated to do anything for you, your household, or your children. So in that aspect, you can't be mad at him. But what is he there for? What is he there for? He's running up your bills. That's what I'm going to tell you what he's doing. He running up your bill. And to me, that was a very disrespectful statement. So again, you don't owe me anything at all whatsoever. These dudes, if they are not your husband, they don't owe you anything. Stop thinking that people owe you something. Stack your stuff. Do what you have to do to make sure your household is secure. If that means that you don't have time to spend with him, then guess what? So be it. Why are you worried about making time for somebody that can't even borrow you? Borrow? I can't believe I'm saying that word. Borrow you $25. Get your priorities straight. Send him back on around his way, because obviously by that statement, your situation is too much for him to deal with, and you're not somebody that he's considering building something with seriously, because a man that was serious about building something with you would never ever, first of all, have you borrowing something from him. Secondly, he would never direct you to go to another man for something if that man was serious about you. Men that are serious about women, man, they got too much pride. Their egos will stand in the way. Their egos cannot take it if they can't provide for their household and their family. So just save yourself the heartache and pain. Save yourself the time and just let this brother go head on and be free. He don't have to worry about you, your $25 for your light bill or any of that. Set that brother free and let him do what he's going to do. And then you focus on building up your money. You focus on, listen, like I said, if you have to get another job, if you got to Uber Eats, it's a whole lot of stuff that you can be doing nowadays that you can take them doggone kids with you. You can take them kids with you while you Uber Eats. You can take them kids with you. So do what you got to do. Today in 2021, there is no excuse for you not to have any extra money or for you not to be able to sustain yourself in your household without depending on these dudes that again are not even there and showing that they're even worth being dependent upon. Lawan, you're saying another man is gonna give her $50 and laugh at him, then she'll have lights on and a side dude. Lawan, she wouldn't need no listen. Let the $50 come. I wouldn't even be wasting my time. What am I wasting my time trying to make room for a side dude when you could just get rid of the dude that couldn't even give you the $25 and be done with it? Dante is saying women too spoiled and too independent. Hot girl summer want to be a bad bee in the head that they don't want to work. Their pride won't let them. Plus their mind got them thinking my body gonna pull a baller type stuff. That's a good point. That's a very good point, Dante. And I say for that, if you are messing with that type of woman that thinks like that, then why are you there? If that's what you feel that she's thinking, why would you put yourself in that situation? So you got to ask yourself that question. If you feel like this is her mindset and she's thinking, oh, she's for the hot girl summer and all this other stuff, why are you there? Why are you there? So there is no excuse, because if you feel that that's her attitude, that's her mindset, and she's spoiled, but you still sitting up in her face and you still sitting up in her house, why? So if she asks you for something, so obviously if you thinking that she feel she can pull a baller type, obviously she thought that she pulled a baller type in you, and that may not be the case. So again, sir, why stick around for a situation like that if you know that that's not what you're about? If you know that you're looking for something different, then exit that situation. Don't stick around and then you know that this is how she think. You know that this is the type of woman that she is, but you don't like that. Why stay there? Like, free yourself. The same goes for the fellas. You can leave if she's not what you want. Bounce. Don't go making all these disrespectful comments. Oh, you can get it from your baby daddy. But at the same time, she can get it from her baby daddy, but you still laying up with her. You still snoring in her face. It don't make sense to me. Henry is saying it's a lot of women who feel like an average man is settling. You know what? I think that that's true, Henry, because it's so much. I think a lot of it has to do with social media and the way people perceive themselves. But I like to think that, you know what, good dudes still are winning. They still are winning. I think that it's a mismatch of people getting together. I think that the good dudes are getting with the chicks that, got a messed up type of mindset. And then I think that the good women are getting with the dudes that got a messed up kind of, outlook on life. So hopefully one day soon, that atmosphere will shift and the right people will meet each other at the right time. Because right now, there's a whole bunch of bull junkie going on in this thing called dating. I just listen, it's just a whole lot of bull junkie going on. I'm gonna say that. Dante is saying, amen, facts. That's why I decided to be single until that trend passed away. LOL. Never just settle. Absolutely. And you are entitled to do that. Like, men and women, you have to do what you have to do that's going to make you happy. If listen, I know there's some PP in the dating pool. There's some PP on both sides. Listen, it's some PP women, it's some PP men. Listen, it's just listen. This dating pool is influxed with all kinds of urine and fecal matter. It's a whole bunch of ish just going on in this dating pool. So sometimes you are absolutely right. You got to just sit back and you got to woosah, because it's too much. Some of these people are too much. Some of these people just will make you be like, oh Lord, what did I do something in my past life to deserve this bull junkie? I'm gonna tell you, if you married, listen, you better hold on to your husband or your wife, because you don't want to be in this PP dating pool in 2021. I would not wish this bullish on anybody. Like, this is crazy. So if you are married or you are in a great relationship, listen, I say hold on to that person. If y'all having little problems, listen, work it out, because it's PP all up in this pool. You don't want to be in this dating. Listen, no, beloved. Listen, let me tell you, you don't want to be in this pool. It's PP all up in this dating pool. So if you got somebody, listen, you all sit down and fix it and work it out, because you're going to be sitting up here shaking your head saying, Dad, that Jay told me. She sure told me. I'm sitting up here thinking I'm going to have it. They having these finally divorce parties. Baby, when you get your end out here and you see how much bull junk out here, you're going to be like, Dad, it would have been cheaper to keep her. It would have been cheaper. It would have been cheaper. It would have been better to stay with him. At least I know the month that I'm dealing with. I ain't got to get reacquainted with all these games out here. But this stuff today, whoo! That's all I can say is this stuff today. Dante is saying you'll finally, if it's meant to find Miss Right. And you're saying, I swear, listen, it's so much going on. I'm just saying, if you think you got it bad in your relationship, or you think you got it bad in your marriage, just talk to some of your single friends. And if you got some real friends that's going to be honest with you, they will let you know. Listen, this dating pool is full of boo-boo and pee-pee, and you don't want to be in this mess. You just do not. So I understand why some people will say, you know what? I'm not even dating. I don't even want to date. I don't even want to meet anybody, because it's so much. It's so many trickery. It's so much trickery. It's so much crap going on. But what I will say is, don't get discouraged. Like, there are some good people out there, and I do believe in love, and I do believe that the right people are going to meet. So you just gotta hold on and just keep the faith, you all. Let's not give up on each other. I know it look bad out there. I do. Honestly, I understand. I know it looks bad, but don't give up. You owe it to yourself. You owe it to yourself to be happy. And I believe with all that's in me that you all will definitely find who you're meant to be with, so that you all can be happy. Guys, listen, we're going to take a short musical break. And when we return, we have more hot topics to get into. So please stay tuned. You don't want to miss it. You're listening to the J Spot, where we are strengthening relationships and families, one conversation at a time.
I get so lonely, can't let no anybody love me. You are the one that lives in me, my dear. I should never feel lonely. You don't ever wanna spend some time. I want your love in every drop of a dime. You see me calling, you should come running. Quit all
That's darling, my body's calling. I got downtime, hard time. This could be so perfect for one hell of a night. Vicky got a secret ease, Henny calling my cup. I just wanna slow this on you, baby. We can turn it up. You had your chance, no second chances. This love I have is not for play. Under no circumstances, I'm in need of romancing. Pick up the phone, cause I get so lonely. Can't let no anybody love me. You are the one that lives in me, my dear. I should never feel lonely. Lately your love has been on my mind. Obviously busy, I wanna unwind. Fantasizing, thinking about you. Imagine all I could. Anticipating is about to go down. I get so lonely. Don't leave me waiting up for you. I get so lonely. You had your chance, no second chances. This love I have is not for play. Under no circumstances, I'm in need of romancing. Pick up the phone, cause I get so
happy. Welcome back to the J Spot, where we are strengthening relationships and families one conversation at a time on IntellectualRadio.com. We are an iHeart station. I'm your host, Jay. And you guys, tonight E is out. So please do me a favor. Go to our page and like our page at the J Spot. Also follow us on Twitter at J Spot. Also follow us on Instagram at the J Spot Radio. And Jay is spelled Jaye for all three. Guys, we have a special guest on tonight. We have a Chicago artist, Mac Niff. How you
feeling today, John?
Good. Thank you so much for joining us. Speaking to the mic.
Gotcha.
Do me a favor. Tell everybody a little bit about yourself, where you're from, and tell them about your project that we're going to play after this break.
Okay, so I'm Mac Niff for the people who didn't know already. The project I'm currently working on that I got out, when I'm say I'm working on is basically we doing a lot of promotion. We got a lot of stuff coming up, stuff I can't discuss just yet, but just released on BET Jams. Revolve picked it up, so it's doing pretty well. The stream is picking up also. I'm a Chicago native as far as where I'm from, but I got a kind of like a diverse mentality. I love to travel every chance I get. I get outside that box, but just genuinely speaking, I'm from Chicago, all sides of the city, north side, west side, south side, east side, stand up. What's happening?
So what's been your favorite place to travel?
Out of all, one of my tops would be probably the DR, Dominican Republic, because that's one place I've been where I actually saw for myself firsthand that, outside of this country, it's a lot of places you can go with. It's a lot of people of color that, are very generous, very cool. They Latinos primarily. It's a lot of Africans and stuff out there as well. But for the most part, it's just a whole different vibe. A lot of times, depending on where I'm in the city, I'm so used to seeing one culture or maybe the, same few cultures. But out there, it's a whole different type of wave, whole different type of vibe. People got, a greeting type of attitude. So,
okay.
Yeah, for sure.
So now tell us a little bit about your current project, the Gucci Gang project. Tell us about that. What inspired that?
So for Gucci Glizzy Gang, it was probably one of the moments I was, I say I was very creative based off what I was doing at the time. So if you, get a chance to really listen to the song, I'm actually telling the story about just, some day-to-day stuff I was going through. Being from Chicago, you definitely got to have one of those, go get an attitude in order to succeed in this, this city. When I travel to other places, a lot of times, the door's wide open. People are greeting, people are friendly, people, give you opportunities that you can embrace just based off of they meet you and like your energy. In Chicago, you got to kind of have a, an attitude where you can, network with people and stuff like that.
So how can they pick up a copy of your project or how can they stream it online?
So for GGG, also known as Gucci Glizzy Gang, you can find it a little bit of everywhere. It's on iTunes, it's on Apple Music, it's on Spotify. Just a general platform to find everything is MacNiffEnt.com. That's MacNiffEnt.com.
Okay, well, guys, listen, be sure to go to his page. We'll have his information on our page. We're going to play his music. Guys, again, we'll have it listed in the comment and we'll have it on our page. So definitely make sure you go out and support it and share it. Follow him. We're going to take a short musical break and we are coming up with the song. Stay tuned.
Gucci Glizzy in the gang, got pull up, got a super bad with a bag, that's what's up. Not the Birkin talking when she run it up. Just hit the line, I'm sliding like a hockey puck. Gucci Glizzy in the gang, got pull up, got a super bad with a bag, that's what's up. Not the Gucci talking when she run it up. Just hit the line, I'm sliding like a hockey puck. Gas on loud like Wi-Fi. While I got my customers high. Feeling when you hit it 2 times. I'm seeing dead people like how. I be on the skyscraper with an eagle view and I ain't seeing you, cause I just seeing through like a sunroof. Haters say I need a parachute. Step on their neck, new pair of shoes. Step on that brick, new pair of loose. Keep a pair of hoops like Don Juan. Case one leave, I still can't lose. Can't press on, gotta make moves. Y'all still tricking like April Fools. I got 8 balls, I got play pool. I got a bag on me, but I skip school. G Glizzy in the gang, got pull up. Got a super bad with a bag, that's what's up. Not the Birkin talking when she run it up. Just hit the line, I'm sliding like a hockey puck. Gucci Glizzy in the gang, got pull up. Got a bad with a bag, that's what's up. Not the Gucci talking when she run it up. Just hit the line, I'm sliding like a hockey puck. I slide with a G30 in the rack. Run the clock and I'm probably outside. Run around and it's probably prime time. 50-50 and 9 times out of 10 King Mac probably cracked your dime. Probably hate cause I rock with the 5. I'm probably mad cause I don't sell dimes. Gucci Glizzy in the game, got pull up.
No, I'm not a hard man to get along with.
Oh, am I still on break? Okay.
And no, it doesn't take a lot to please me. I like my woman loyal and stays right by my side. Oh, yeah. She my Bonnie, I'm a Clyde, and always down to ride. Oh, yeah. Let's not get it twisted.
Welcome back to the J Spot, where we are strengthening relationships and families, one conversation at a time on IntellectualRadio.com. And I'm your host, Jay. Guys, E is out tonight. Please do me a favor. Go to our page and like our page at the J Spot. Also follow us on Twitter at J Spot. Also follow us on Instagram at the J Spot Radio. And Jay is spelled Jaye for all 3. Guys, please do me a favor. We'll have our guest, Magnificent. We have his link posted in the comment section. So if you want to definitely check out the song, we'll have that attached as well. But definitely please go and support. Guys, listen. Our next hot topic, I'm going to tell you. Okay. Listen, I'm gonna tell you, pull your wigs down, make sure the eyelashes, the glue is on right, and make sure, listen, if you got that spray that's keeping your lining together, make sure all that is right, because this next hot topic is going to get a whole lot of people charged and fired up. Now, I don't know why, but listen, you all, come on, we got to do better. So it says, no child should receive a plate before the man of the house. What are your thoughts on that? Who should be fed first? Should the man of the house, hardworking man, be paid, be fed first, or should the children be fed first? How does that work in 2021? Who eats first? Or does it not matter? Should we all be sitting together at the table, just, fellowshipping with each other. Does it matter who should eat first? Does it matter? Does it matter? Should the man eat first? The man of the house, is he entitled to eat first? Is that his right? He's paying all the bills. If it wasn't for him, you wouldn't have that food on the table. So who eats first? Some men say, it don't matter. It don't matter who eat first, or my kids eat first. That's what I work hard for. But what do you all think? Who should eat first? Not is saying first time here. What's good? Hey, Not, thank you so much for joining us. In Pro, you saying in Iowa, all they do is share. Okay, that don't have nothing to do with this question right here. We'll get back to that one. But who should eat first? Now listen, I know it's hard, you all. I know it's hard, and you probably not gonna like what I'm gonna say, but I'm gonna say it anyway, because this is what I was taught. Okay. The man of the house eats first. That's what I was taught. Now, listen, I know some of you all are going to say, get out of here with that. This ain't no 1961 and this ain't no. Well, listen, that's why we don't have the relationships that they had in 1961, since we sit up here trying to say it ain't 1961 or it ain't 1921. I'm just telling you, that's the head of the household. So if he's not taken care of, then what does it, if he's not taken care of, he's working hard. Your kids are not working hard. Your kids are not working hard whatsoever. So if your husband, hopefully it's the husband, but whomever that man is that is taking care of that family, then that's who's supposed to eat first. It says that you're supposed to put you guys first, the husband and the wife. Those people are supposed to go first, and then everybody else. Now I know you're like, oh my goodness, my baby coming first, my baby. Okay, well listen, you're entitled to do whatever you want to do. If that's what works in your household, you have to do what works in your household. Not you're saying it doesn't matter who eat first as long as I get the most. Okay, that, and some men have definitely said that. You say, I guess the man eats first. Nichelle, you're saying back when my kids were small, I fixed my husband plate first and we all ate together as a family. Absolutely. Toya, you're saying my dad would not eat until after all of our plates was fixed, and he was like that with his grandchildren as well. Absolutely. So it's just like, it depends on what works for you and your family. Some men would say, listen, I can eat last. Like, make sure the kids are first. Make sure that, because that's what he wants to do. That's him exercising his position as the head of the household, for those that believe in the man being the head of the household. Because here's the deal. In 2021, we have so many different dang on family types and household structures and all this and that, that you truly have to say, you have to do what works for you and your household, because everybody has all these different ideologies of what makes a family and the family dynamics and the family roles. But what I will say for each and everybody is these are conversations that you have to have beforehand. You have to have those conversations about, okay, so what do you think? How do you think? So what are the roles? What is my responsibility? How do you think this should go? How should we rear our children? What are we going to do? Are we going to all eat at separate times, or are we going to have a designated time where we all sit together and have dinner as a family? Those are things that has to be discussed on an individual family basis, because each family structure is different. But as a general rule of thumb, again, as we were taught, as I was taught, and I was brought up, that man, the husband, because the man should be the husband. That's what they say, even though it ain't always working out that way. But the husband or the man, he's the head of the household, and he should be taken care of first because he's the one that's providing for the household. Now, if you got a dude that was just like this first hot topic that we covered that could not even give $25 on the gas bill, let me tell you, he will be eating with the dog. Okay, I'm just gonna tell you, he will not be. Listen, you're not contributing, so you don't eat. If a man that don't work, don't eat. A man that can't contribute $25 to the light bill, he will not be seeing no food on his plate. So you saying, go ask my baby daddy for the $25. Go ask your mama for a meal because you gets nothing from over here. Now, that's just how it is. Now, listen, if he's not pulling his weight, all I'm going to say is you chose him. You chose him. And so you continue to let him be there and not pull his weight and you struggling. Listen, I could do bad all by myself. But as far as paying homage and giving reverence to the man that is the head of the household, the man that is taking care of his family and his responsibility, he goes first. You're supposed to take care of him because by you taking care of him, you're keeping him strong and you're keeping him in position where he's able to take care of his family. But that's for the men that believe in this stuff. You know, you got to see where people minds are. You got to see what people mindsets are because again, in 2021, people don't really believe like that. People believe that, listen, we can just make up rules as we go. We can do whatever it is that we want to do. We can just, play relationships and marriages. We can play those things by ear. We don't have any structured guidelines or any structured rules that we're following anymore in today's society. It's just like it's a big free for all. And it shouldn't be like, oh, I can do whatever I want to do. I mean, if I feel like fixing it first, then I'll fix it first. Or he don't come first. He don't come before my kids and this and that. Okay, well, then what you get a husband for? If you were not prepared to be a wife, what are you asking for a husband for? So again, we got to definitely be mindful for that because men, what are you asking for a wife for? If you're not prepared to take care of your family, what are you asking for a wife for? Just stay single. So therefore, you don't have anybody to take care of but yourself. Ladies, stop asking for a husband if you're not ready to do those things that a wife is required to do. Now, yes, is it uncomfortable? Would it be uncomfortable to walk past your babies and take the plate? I ain't gonna lie. Yes, it would be. I would be like, ooh, Lord, please, Lord, I know you. Ooh, Lord, charges in my head and not to, So I would probably I'll probably be bringing like 2 plates out at the same time. I'll bring his plate and set his plate down, and then I'll bring the kid plate. That's how I do it. I have to get some waitressing skills going on. I have to get a big tray and just give him his plate first, but everybody else eating at the. You got to be creative, okay? But you got to be creative, but you got to do it right. Like, you gotta do it right, especially if you sit up here, Lord, please bless me with a husband. What you want a husband for? So you can just put him second. You ain't even gonna treat him right. So what you asking for a husband for? What you asking for a wife for? And you not even gonna treat her right. What is y'all asking for these people for? And you still ready to run the streets? Just keep running the streets until you get that stuff out of your system. Stop trying to couple up with people knowing good and doggone well that you're not ready to fill that position. You're not ready to fill that role. And guess what? You're entitled to do that if you're single and that's what you want to be on. Rock out and do it. But stop trying to get with people that are looking forward to being a husband and you're not trying to be a wife. Stop looking for people that are looking for wives and that you're not ready to be a wife or you're not ready to be a husband. Stop looking for those people. Gretchen, you're saying man is the provider. The mind is a battlefield. That it truly is. And sure is, and that dating pool is a battlefield as well. So you better choose your battles wisely because again, if you got a good thing, you better hold on to them because these folks out here, it is something else, which guys leads to our next hot topic. Now, let's be honest about this. Does money make a man more attractive? Does a man having money, does that automatically make him more attractive? What do you guys think about that? So when I think about a man having money, listen, that's his money. I mean, it's a plus because he's able to take care of himself, and I don't have to hurt his feelings by letting him know that I ain't got nothing for you over here. I don't have to worry about doing that. So it's a plus in that area. But would I say it makes him more attractive? Not necessarily. But what I will say is being poor, broke, and starving, that's definitely not attractive. So that's the quickest way to just keep a, especially if she got her own stuff and she got it together. Listen, that's the quickest way to help her keep herself focused and not being on you by you not having yourself together financially. Like, you ain't gotta be all, the richest dude, but you can't be poor, broke, and starving either, because if you poor, broke, and starving, you have other things that you need to be thinking of. You have other things that you need to be working on, and dating and trying to get in somebody, trying to get in somebody's drawers and trying to be hanging off chandeliers should be the last of your concerns. So no, I don't necessarily think that a man having money is a more attractive. I don't think that, necessarily, but I can doggone it answer for sure. A man that does not have any money, that ish definitely ain't attractive. I'm sorry. I am just not, trying to, sign up for the struggle. Not, listen, it has nothing to do with the type of job, because if he's working a job and he got his little savings and stuff going on, then he got some money. He's able to take care of himself. Rock out. A man with no money means that you calling every time you get around, you borrowing some money, you can't keep a job, you won't keep a job, you ain't got your own nothing. Yeah, that's not attractive whatsoever. And I'm not gonna sugarcoat that ish either. No ifs, ands, and buts about it. That ish ain't attractive whatsoever. Which will lead to the next quite hot topic is, do you prefer a man, and is it important for a man to have his own place? So when you're talking about dating someone, do he need to have his own place, or can he, be staying with some folks? Beloved, you are not in high school or you are not in college. I am sorry. If you don't have your own place, again, that's a man or woman. In my opinion, if you don't have your own place, with the exception of there are some special circumstances where you had your own place, and like, you may have had a parent that's sick. Now you gave up your place to go move in and help take care of them. That's a whole separate issue. You're still able to take care of yourself. You just made the decision to move home and take care of your people. That to me, that's a separate issue. The issue we're talking about right now is the one that don't have their own place because they can't afford it. So you got to stay on your friend's couch. You got to stay on your mother's couch, or you got to stay in your mother's basement and this and that. And it's not because you're there helping her. It's because you don't have your own place. Yeah, you need to have your own place. If you are in the 30 plus age range, you need to have your own place. Now, I get it. Some people are living with roommates and bachelors and this and that, bachelor pads, bachelorette pads, where, people are tripling up on the rent and things of that nature. I mean, that's cool because still technically you got your own place. Like, you're taking care of yourself. You're not depending upon someone taking care of you. So technically you got your own space. I mean, you're just, sharing the responsibilities with someone else, but you have your own place. But you got to listen. I will say this, be mindful of those kind of situations though, because if you're getting serious with somebody that's used to splitting the bill 6 ways and that's all they can afford, you got to be mindful, because if you guys get serious and now it's just the two of you and you decide to move and get your own place, you got to make sure that they are able to substantially pull their own weight in the relationship or the marriage, depending on what it is that you guys specifically agree upon. But it's so important to talk about, listen, you got to talk about money up front. You got to talk about credit up front. You got to talk about that stuff up front. And I'll say up front, here's why, because you don't want to sit up here and now you all cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs and y'all done hung off the chandeliers. Baby, they got $100,000 in back child support. She's sitting up here fighting a $450,000 restitution case because they done caught up with her from them doing them loan scams and all this and that. So you guys come together and financially you are just a hot mess financially. But y'all so stuck on each other because, you know, y'all, it's all good. Baby. That's all y'all focusing on. But then when you get to the meat and the potatoes of the relationship, now y'all mad. You big mad because he don't never have no money. You big mad because she don't never have no money because y'all both came with all of this debt to the table that you all didn't talk about up front. You got evictions on your name. She got evictions on her name. Y'all can't listen. Y'all can't even afford to get a room at the Doggy Inn. What you doing? Like, what are you doing? So those are things that you gotta talk. No, it's not gold digging. It's just talking, being responsible, having real grown folks conversations because this is real life. Listen, you only spend, well, I'm gonna say most people spend a tiny fraction in the actual bedroom swinging off chandeliers. The rest of the time is real life and all this other ish that makes up the real world. So you cannot get blinded, which a lot of people do. You get blinded by the good sex and all of this other stuff. And then when reality sets in and you're looking at your relationship on paper and from a business standpoint, and you realize, man, this may not work out. Like this may not be a good idea because here's the deal. You guys can work out and be compatible physically all you want. But what about being financially compatible? What about being mentally compatible? What about being spiritually compatible? What about being emotionally compatible? See, it's so many other things to consider that have to be talked about. So it's like sometimes you just gotta take a time out from the touching and the feeling. I'm gonna slide through. I'm gonna do this. Sometimes you just gotta put that ish on hold because it's a whole lot of that. It's a whole lot of opportunities to slide up. Those opportunities to slide up come a dime a dozen. But when you slide up on the one that you think could be the one, and now they credit score 400 and yours is 525, where y'all going? Where y'all going? Y'all finna be arguing with each other because you can't do nothing, he can't do nothing. Like, where y'all going? Where y'all going? Suzette, she's saying, my sister, hey Lee, she's saying, what's the Doggy Inn? I guess that's a little hotel where people going to. I guess that's where they can afford to go to when they credit score is 525 and 300. I mean, I guess that's where they go, to Doggy Inn. I don't know. Hopefully, you know, it's a place called a Doggy Inn where they can go. But doggone it in. Listen, I'll be doggone if you get in anywhere with no financial plan and no financial goals. So it's like, it's okay. It's okay to talk about these things. It don't mean that I'm asking you for no money. I just want to see what you think, how you think, and how you think about money, how you plan, where are you sitting? Because I'm not finna walk into a struggle. And you shouldn't want to walk into a struggle. You shouldn't want to walk into, listen, it's okay to talk about it up front. Well, what's your credit score? That's too personal. How you gonna ask somebody their personal credit score? Beloved, Listen, these folks out here saying that they eating behind like grocery. So you mean to tell me that you can let somebody put their mouth on your private parts, but you can't ask them what their credit score is? You don't want them asking you what your credit score is, but you willing to have sex with them unprotected, but now you get how dare she ask my credit score? Wait a minute. Didn't you just have your mouth chomping down south, but you are highly offended because they asked you what your credit score was? I don't understand it. You have to help me out. You got to make it make sense. We okay with having unprotected sex and all of this, but we don't want to know. We can't ask them what their FICO score is. We can't ask them if they done filed bankruptcy. We can't ask them if they got any evictions. We can't ask them none of that. But you can let them eat your behind like grocery. You can let them give you all the fellatio and cunningings that you can handle, but you can't ask them what their FICO score is. You all help me understand, how are we comfortable with doing that, but your finances, questions and conversations about your finances is off limit. I mean, again, as I said earlier, this dating pool is full of PP and TT. So that's why it's so easy to do that, because people don't have the intention on staying around. Most people don't. So therefore, that's why it's so sacred. That's why it's so taboo to talk about these things, because a lot of people are not even planning on doing those things in the beginning. So listen, if they're good enough for you to baby with, then they should be okay with you asking them what their FICO score is. Have they ever filed bankruptcy? What are their financial plans? Do they have a savings? Do they have a checking? Do you own any property? Do you have life insurance? These are all conversations that if you are having sex with somebody, you should be able to ask these questions if you're looking forward to building something with them. And you should be asking these questions in advance, because if they don't have their stuff together, then maybe you guys can, come together and make a plan to get those things together. But listen, some folks are just in too bad of situations that I'm like, listen, I'm sorry, you mean well and all, and you cool and all, but yeah, I done been there, done that. At this point in my life, oh no, sir, no, sir, I cannot have your 200 credit score tainting up my nice. Listen, your tainted credit score can cause man to have an adverse reaction, and I don't want that. So dealing with you, because when you marry somebody, you're marrying their finances, so you gotta be ever ye so mindful. Guys, listen, we're gonna take a short musical break, and when we return, we have more hot topics to get into. We finna get messy now, so please stay tuned. You're listening to the J Spot, where we are strengthening relationships and families, one conversation at a time.
I don't know what you did, but you did it right. Girl, you make it look so easy. Everywhere you go, heads turning left and right. Can't say you a dime, you're a 20 piece. Cause girl, you're the reason I be acting funny. Yeah. Everything in me telling me don't let you get away. No. And all the guys looking like they wanna love you. Every day I'm your body, got not over my dead body. Why you gotta look so good? Why you gotta look so good? Why you gotta look so good? Put your hair done, nail done. When you put that clone on, why you gotta look so good? With your hair done, nails done. When you put that clone on, girl, why you gotta look so good? I can look and see you're not an average chick. You're shutting it down everywhere you go. Girl, I want you as bad as I want a check. Cause you're sexy from head to toe. Girl, you're the reason I be acting funny. Yeah. telling me all that you get away. And all the guys looking like they wanna love you. Every day I'm your bodyguard, not over my dead body. Why you gotta look so good? Why you gotta look so good? Why you gotta look so good? Put your hair done, nail done. When you put your clothes on, why you gotta look so good, 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 good? It's something about you. When you put your clothes on, why you gotta look so good? When you're waking up straight out of bed, girl, why you gotta look so good? Or when you're at the job just taking a break, girl, why you gotta look so good? In the club, turning up, why you gotta look so good? On the dance floor, giving more, why you gotta look so good? Why you gotta look so good? Why you gotta look so good? Girl, you know you be killing them when you be getting them wrong, wanna know why you gotta look so good, good, good. With your hair down and your nails done, when you put the clothes on, girl, why you gotta look so good? Girl, why you gotta look so good? Why you gotta look so good?
Welcome back to the J Spot, where we are strengthening relationships and families, one conversation at a time on IntellectualRadio.com. We are an iHeart station. I'm your host, Jay. Guys, Ishi's out for tonight. I want to thank you so much for tuning in. Please do me a favor, go to our page and like our page at the J Spot. Also follow us on Twitter at JSpot. Also follow us on Instagram at the JSpot Radio. And Jay is spelled Jay. For all three. Guys, listen. Oh my goodness. Now, this next hot topic is a hot mess. When they say leave well enough alone, sometimes it's just best to leave well enough alone. So listen, our next hot topic. So the young lady, her fiance, he has twin boys. And so he for years would say that, he didn't think the boys don't look like him. And he was always wondering why the boys don't look like him. And people in the family would say that the boys don't look like him and things of that nature. But, he didn't think twice about it. And so the older the boys got, it just became more and more, apparent that, man, these boys don't look none like their daddy. So the fiance takes it upon herself to swab the boys and do a DNA test on the boys without the father's knowledge or consent. And she sends it off, and the results come back that, as everyone suspected, those boys are not his. So now she wants to know, what should she do? Because she hasn't revealed the results to the father. Should she tell him? Or should she just leave well enough alone? Because this man has raised these boys as though they're his own. He doesn't feel that they are not his kids. He acknowledges that they don't look like him, but he does not have an issue with that. She had the problem with it, and she wanted to find out if their suspicions were true or their concerns as far as the boys not looking like the father. Was there some validity to why they don't look like the father? And again, she did do a DNA test on them without the father's consent or his knowledge. And it turns out that the boys are not his. So what should she do? Should she tell him, or should she just leave it alone? And that's a really, really tough situation to be in. But here's the thing. You got to leave that alone. Like, this man wasn't questioning the kid's paternity. You're the one that had a problem with it. You're the one that decided to be Inspector Gadget. and then you found out some ish that will definitely change not only your fiance's life, but those boys' lives. So my question is, why on Messy Madeline would you go and open up a can of worms that nobody even asked you to? I'm sure this man, if he wanted to know, clearly he did not want to know. That's why he did not go and get a DNA test done himself, because he did not want to know. So, what gives you the right to go and swab those babies and send that off? He didn't ask you to do that. Matter of fact, nobody asked you to do that. If you had a problem with him loving and taking care of those boys, then you need to exit the situation. But to open that up, I think that is so, it's so unfair. And it's like, now how do you undo knowing that truth? I just don't know. That's a hard situation to be in. But just know that if and when she does confess that, you know, I don't think that they will be going through with getting married, because you have crushed his world. Those kids was his world, and for some messy reason, you just had to get to the bottom of it. You just had to, you just had to undo, or you just had to prove what people were saying, or whatever your suspicions were. You just had to be the one to prove it. Now you have probably cost yourself a future husband, because you went and you stuck your nose somewhere where that was not your business. I mean, I get it. These are two kids that you got a feeling. Let that be a feeling. Let somebody else have done that, and then you stay out of it. But for you to go and do some underhanded stuff like that, I don't see how he could move on with you, because you've crushed his heart. You've taken his family away from him. Maybe he knew that the kids was not his. He had a feeling, but he just didn't want to know. Nichelle, you're saying she needs to confess what she did. Can't go into a marriage with secrets. Just be ready for the consequences for going behind his back. Absolutely. And that consequence, you have to definitely live with that. I just don't, just thinking about that, Nichelle, is definitely a good point. I I don't think I would even go behind his back to do that, because again, I wouldn't want to be in a position like this where I know that these kids are not his, and I find out now I gotta lose my family. I gotta lose my man because I couldn't stop being messy. I had to be messy now. I just had to prove a point. Now you done lost your man because you had to prove a point. So sometimes, listen, if people not asking you for your help, especially when it's concerning their children, and or when it's concerning people you done found out somebody was cheating, and ooh, Lord, it's sometimes it's just better to mind your own business and just trust that the truth will come out. But because people are not going to always be happy, they're going to shoot the messenger, especially if the messenger is messy. You are a messy messenger because nobody asked you to do that. That situation, he was fine with that. He was fine with the kids not looking like him. He was fine with people telling him that. He was fine with you feeling that way. He even acknowledged that the kids didn't look like him. But not once did he express that he wanted to find out if those kids were his. So you took it upon your messy self to do that. Now you're going to lose your man, Messy, because you done had to go and prove everybody wrong. You done had to prove that the baby mama was a lie and all this and that. So now you done lost your man. So if you have a situation like this, because I'm sure there are plenty of situations out there, and these are real scenarios where you feel like, listen, that little girl don't look nothing like him. That little girl don't look. How she got green eyes and everybody else in the family got brown eyes. Listen, beloved, if you not ready, please do not open up Pandora's box. Please leave well enough alone, because sometimes when you go sticking your nose and things that nobody asked you to, come and take a look at, listen, you're destroying yourself. You're destroying the whole entire relationship. So sometimes it's just better to leave well enough alone. Now, guys, listen, our next hot topic, ladies, come on, we're gonna have to do a little bit better because this one kind of got me. So the mom, she puts her kid's father on blast for giving their child 1 week of school clothes, new school clothes. So she tells the dad that the kid needs some school, some clothes. They going back to school. So he bought the kid a week's worth of clothes. He bought the socks, a week worth of socks, a week worth of underwear, a week worth of pants, a week's worth of shirts. And she didn't like that. So she put him on blast. So I don't understand, why did you put him on blast when he did exactly what you asked? I don't know. Maybe she was expecting the money. I don't know. But if you say buy the kids some school clothes, he bought them a week's worth of stuff. What is wrong with that? I don't understand what was the problem with that. So what we got to do, some of us, if you got the kids' fathers and they're trying, it may not be what you want. You may not like him. You may not like his new girlfriend. You may not like his new wife. You may not like the new situation, period. It doesn't matter. If this man is there and if he is trying to be a part of his children's lives, if he is trying to take care of them, let this man be a man and do what he is going to do for his child or children. We cannot dictate how men do what they're going to do for their kids. You got him. He did what you asked him to do. He may not have done it in the way that you saw that it should have been done in your mind, but you said something and he showed up for the kids. You don't have to like it. You don't have to agree with it, but let these dudes show up. Let these men be men. Let them be fathers to their children. Listen, if you know that they don't have all of this money, what you running down to the child support court for, putting them on child support? You should have thought about that before y'all laid down and had these kids. You knew he ain't had no money. So what you going down there putting him on child support for, so that he can be in arrears and he can get all these default judgments on him, so he can go to jail for something that you already knew in the first place that he wasn't going to be able to pay in the second place. Sometimes we are the authors of our own struggles. So when we put ourselves in situations that we know good and doggone well in hindsight don't make no doggone sense, don't try to bring nobody else down with you. Now, you knew you shouldn't have had no baby by him in the first place because he couldn't even take care of himself. So now you big mad because all he can afford to do is buy a pack of pants, a pack of socks or a pack of t-shirts. But at least he bought something because you knew that he was borrowing money from you before you even got pregnant. But you thought it was cute. You thought it was cute. You took him from old girl and all this and that. But now look at the situation you in. So you can't be mad at nobody but yourself. But listen, we got to let these men do what they're going to do for their kids. Again, if they are showing up and they are taking care of their kids, whether you like it or not, if they showing up, let them show up in the way that they choose to show up. At least they are showing up. And don't be poisoning these kids about their daddies. Oh, your daddy ain't much. Your daddy's a bum. Well, you a bum too. You lay with him. So it's like whatever you all have to say negatively about each other, you're a reflection of that because you lay with them. So it's just like, okay, what's the purpose of bashing each other? Let's just make the most of the situation. Put the kids first. Get out of your own feelings and do what you have to do. Toya, you're saying she wanted the money. She didn't want him to purchase the items. Shaking my head. Absolutely. And a lot of times that is the case. And you have to stop doing that. You got to stop doing that. You got to let these men do what they're going to do when they are trying to be proactive and trying to be fathers in their children's lives. Guys, listen, we're going to take a short musical break. And when we return, we have more hot topics to cover. And then we're going to get into tonight's special topic, the truth about domestic violence. You're listening to the J Spot, where we are strengthening relationships and family, one conversation.
So you wanna be loved by me? Hello, my name is MCB. Brainstorm. Won't you get your feelings hurt? So you wanna be loved by me? Hello, my name is MCB.
Back to the J Spot, where we are strengthening relationships and families, one conversation at a time on IntellectualRadio.com. We are an iHeart station. I'm your host, Jay. Guys, listen, I want to thank you so much for tuning in. Please do me a favor, go to our page and like our page at J Spot. Also follow us on Twitter at J Spot. Also follow us on Instagram at the J Spot Radio. And Jay is spelled Jaye for all three. Guys, listen, our next hot topic. Would you cut off all of your friends for a healthy relationship with your partner? Okay, I'm going to repeat that. Would you cut off all of your friends for a healthy relationship with your partner? Listen, I was speechless and I had to read that a couple of times because I'm trying to figure out, how is it a healthy relationship if you have to cut off all of your friends? What about that says it's healthy? A healthy relationship, you have friends that you hang out with, you have family that you hang out with. So I don't understand what makes that relationship healthy if you got to cut off your friends. That sounds like that's a situation that you may want to turn around and and backpedal on. That doesn't seem like that's something that you definitely want to proceed forward with. Nicole, you're saying, wow. Nichelle, you're saying, what does your friends have to do with a healthy relationship? Absolutely. And again, if it sounds kind of controlling, it sounds kind of, abusive, which we're going to talk about shortly. It definitely sounds like that because that's one of the first things that they have you do is isolate yourself from your circle. So there's nothing healthy about somebody, whether it be man or woman. There's nothing healthy about your spouse or your mate asking you to cut off your friends and family from in order to make your relationship better. Now listen. Now, if you got that one friend, listen, that's sleeping around, and or your husband, his friend, this one, right, he chasing out the everything that switch past, then it's reasonable to have some concerns there. Or fellas, if your girl, she got her one friend, and she just always about the hot girl summer and all this and that, and you feel like she's not becoming for your girl, then I can see where there could be room for concern. Okay, room for concern. But you got to let these grown folks be grown folks. You got to trust them enough to know that, what, listen, okay? Listen, I know Timotheus is a dog, okay? All I'm saying is, what, please don't be out there putting our relationship to an open shame. Or I know that Rolanda is for the streets, okay? So please do not be out there being for the streets, okay? Those are real conversations that will be had, okay? But to have to cut your whole entire circle off and say that you're doing that to make the relationship healthy, I don't see what's healthy about that. Nicole, you're saying, yeah, it does sound controlling. You're saying I'm cutting, you cutting, oh, you cutting, which ones you cutting off? Are y'all at least willing to cut the ones off that they feel like for the streets? So if your guy feel like, man, old girl is straight for the streets, would you cut her off? And ladies, you fellas, if your woman feel like, okay, your best dude, he for the streets, would you cut them off for a healthy relationship? It's like, come on. It's, man, like if these people are their friends and they were there, especially if they were there for you, I think it's unfair to ask them to cut off friends just because you don't like their behavior. As long as your mate or your spouse is not emulating that behavior, then I think all should be well. Pro Coco, you're saying only if they toxic friends. And Toya, you're saying no. And Nicole, you're saying not my friend. And that's the thing. Like, if they're a friend, then you already knew about these people beforehand. So don't come trying to make, life-changing decisions. Because here's the deal. If your mate or your spouse gonna cheat, trust me, they don't need the influence of their friend. If they gonna cheat, they gonna cheat with regardless of if their friend is cheating or not. So let's get that out. Let's just kick that out right now. Your mate or your spouse, people don't cheat because they hang with cheaters. They cheat because they want to cheat. They cheat because they saw something that caught their eye, something that they wanted to get a little bit into, and so they decided to go and take it for a test spin. They didn't cheat because they friend cheated or they friend for the streets. Listen, they know they friends for the streets, but they friends. So just because they for the streets, don't mean that you for the streets. At least we hope that you not, but don't go cutting your friends off because that ain't healthy. There's nothing healthy about cutting off friends for your relationship. Now, if the friend is causing issues in the relationship, that's a different scenario to tackle. But if your mate or your spouse is saying, oh yeah, well, if you want our relationship to be solid and you want our relationship to be strong, you got to cut them off because I don't think that they're a good influence. First of all, if you 30 plus, nobody should be influencing you at this point. You should have been influenced. Your parents have raised you. I'm sorry. Your parents have raised you 30 plus, they've raised you. So you don't need anybody coming in trying to dictate how you run your life, how you live your life. Your friends are your friends. Their friends are their friends. Let's just have a mutual respect for one another. Now, you're not going to like all their friends and they not going to like all your friends. And that's okay. But we don't have to go cutting them people off just because there are some differences, and feelings. We don't have to do all that. Listen, if you know your man don't like, Rashika for the streets, just don't, you kick it with Rashika from the streets on your own time. Listen, now, listen, Bubba don't really care for you, girl. So, I mean, I want you to come, but I ain't trying to have all that arguing and stuff at the house. So we'll just get together later because I'm not letting my relationship go. You just have to find creative ways to keep everybody happy in situations like that, but you shouldn't have to cut your friends off in order to have a so-called healthy relationship. Guys, listen, we're going to transition over. Tonight, we're talking about the truth about domestic violence. So we had a post in the group and the question was posed, why do some women stay with men that hit them? And just reading the comments was so disheartening that, I just felt compelled to talk about domestic violence. And just reading all those comments, I'm going to tell you why they stay in relationships like that. They stay in relationships like that because of people like you. We run our mouths so dang on much. We got so much negative crap to say. That's why they stay. That's why they stay, because they don't want to be called stupid. They don't want to be called dumb. They don't want to be told that that's what they get. They don't want to be told that. They don't want to hear you running your mouth. People can say the most insensitive things about such serious topics like this. And all I was thinking was, you never know if there's a domestic violence victim or a survivor that is on these posts. But all we do is, a lot of times we are so quick to just run our mouths and type the most hurtful and disheartening things. It's disgusting. I mean, some of us ought to be ashamed of ourselves, the way that we talk on public platforms. We have no censorship. We have no chill whatsoever. Women that stay in, or people that stay, period, because men are being abused just as well. So people that stay in relationships or marriages and they're being abused, they don't stay because they're stupid. There's so many different reasons that people stay. And so we're going to get and talk about a couple of those things tonight. So we hope that the information that we share tonight, that it helps somebody, because again, unfortunately, somebody under the sound of my voice is in a domestically violent situation. So if you or anyone you know is in an abusive or domestic violence relationship, please call the National Domestic Violence Hotline at 800-799-7233. Again, that number is 800-799-7233. Now, what is domestic violence? So first of all, let's just cover that. According to an online source, domestic violence is a pattern of behavior which involves violence or abuse by one person against another in a domestic setting, such as marriage or cohabitation. Now, there are different forms of domestic violence. But again, I just want to say, please, let's stop blaming the victim. Like Nichelle said, a lot of times they are afraid. They're afraid. They don't have anywhere to go. Obviously, they don't have anybody to confide in, because you could be saying that they're stupid and it could be your friend that's reading your comment. So now you've put your foot in your mouth. So now they can't come and confide in you, because guess what? You're sitting on your high horse being judgmental, or you're blaming them. So these are not the situations to be blaming people stupid and they want to be, and things of that nature. Nobody wants to be in those type of situations. So stop saying that a woman or a man that stays in that relationship, please stop saying that they're stupid, and let's just use a little bit more kindness and understanding. And we can tell them to leave, but often telling a person that's in a domestically violent situation, telling them to leave, is so much easier said than done. You can tell them to leave, but this person is all they know, or they don't have any money, they don't have anywhere to go. And again, if you're their friend and you're sitting up there running your mouth being judgmental, they can't come and confide in you. So where are they going to go? Nichelle, you're saying, I am a survivor. I stayed because he told me he would rather see me dead than see me with someone else. When I finally got brave to leave, he tried to take me out twice. Good, good. God had other plans for me, and I survived. I am here today. I give God all the praises. Nichelle, I'm glad that you are here. Thank you so much for sharing your story and sharing your experience with us. I really appreciate that. And that has definitely helped someone on this feed and under the sound of our voices, because again, it's so much, especially, with this last year, everything that has been going on with COVID, and people have been forced to stay at home. Like, you're working from home. frustrations is high, tensions is high in a situation that was already probably volatile before all of this. So you add COVID and all this other stuff to the mix, and then everything has exploded tenfold. So here are some examples of the various types of domestic violence. The first one is physical violence, where somebody is hitting you, slapping you, stabbing you, throwing things at you. Those are all forms of physical domestic violence. Then there's sexual violence, pressuring the victim to have sex when they don't want to, or to do things sexually that they are not comfortable with, forcing them to have sex with others, or refusing to use protection when having sex, or sabotaging birth control pills. Listen, okay, for those that think that it's funny to be sitting up there poking holes in condoms and all this other stuff, or telling this man that you on a pill and you ain't, or your tubes tied and all this, you got to be mindful, because if they're telling you that they don't want this situation and you're orchestrating something behind the scene, you're participating in sexual violence against that person. You can't do that. I mean, people think it's funny. Oh, I stuck the, she did this, or, she said she took the pill and she did that, or it's not funny and it's not cute. Like, you're violating a person in this way, and it's a sexual violation. Psychological violence, embarrassing or shaming the victim with put downs, calling them names, cussing them out, embarrassing them. Listen, playing mind games with them, messing with their self-esteem. Now, people will say, can't nobody mess with your self-esteem? Yes, they can. If you have somebody calling you names 24/7, fat, you ain't nothing but a fat B, you a dirty B, you a dumb B. If you hear that enough, you'll start to believe that that's all you truly are. You put him down. Oh, you ain't no good. He's just good for nothing. You can't do nothing right. You shiftless and all. Listen, all the nasty little things that we tend to say to each other sometimes. Listen, that's a form of domestic violence. That's psychological violence. Emotional abuse, acting in ways that scare the person that they are abusing. You acting crazy. Listen, now they scared to leave because you telling them, oh, if you leave, I'ma kill myself. If you leave, I ain't gonna make it. I can't see myself with. Listen, acting all kinds of crazy. I'ma cut my wrist. I'ma cut. Oh, you acting just crazy. You're doing things to scare them into staying with you. That is psychological. That's emotional abuse. You're scared. You got this person so wound up that they're afraid to leave. The last one is financial abuse. You controlling every dime that comes in the door. You controlling all of the money. You don't want to let them go because you want to control everything. Listen, you all, domestic violence is real. Okay, and this thing has gotten out of control for both men and women. So again, if you are dealing with this situation, nobody has the right to call you out of your name. Nobody has the right to hit you. Nobody has the right to, hold emotional things over you, to scare you and to stand with them. If you want to leave, you should be able to leave. But what I will say to the person that's under my voice that is in a domestically violent situation, you have to have a plan on how to get out. So again, please try to find somebody that you can trust, that you can talk to, that can help you get out of that situation. If you don't have anyone in your circle, please call the National Domestic Violence Hotline at 800-799-7233. Again, that number is 800-799-7233. Guys, please, let's be helpers one to another, and let's stop blaming each other. Let's be the support that we need from each other. Guys, I want to thank you so much for tuning in. Please, guys, stay tuned for our partners Candid Talk, they are coming up next, guys. You want to rock out with them. Candid Talk Radio will be in the building. I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in. Please do me a favor. Go to our page and like our page at the J Spot. Follow us on Twitter at J Spot. Also follow us on Instagram at the J Spot Radio. And Jay is spelled Jaye for all three. Until next time, you guys, take care of yourselves and each other.
Thank you for hitting the J Spot on IntellectualRadio.com.